Am I the a-hole for wanting an abortion if my husband and I get divorced? Apologies if something is unclear. English is not my first language. My husband and I have been married for a little over 3 years, and we're both a little past our mid-30s. For context, I migrated to his country a little over a decade ago. We met during our PhD program. Things moved quickly, engagement, marriage within 2 years, and I genuinely believed I had found my soulmate. He was intelligent, charming, and funny, and at the time I thought we had the same vision for what a family should be. I'm extremely close to my family. I'm the oldest of four, and almost a second mother to my younger siblings. We talk every single day, something that has been a routine for years, even before I met my husband. My husband, however, has a complicated and almost cold relationship with his own family. They're distant, dismissive, and honestly quite selfish. To me, it's not just an individual issue, it feels cultural because many of my friends who grew up here describe similar patterns in their families. But still, the way his family treats him is painful to watch. They've shown, on multiple occasions, that his feelings don't matter if they find them inconvenient. They can be dismissive to the point of cruelty. When we first started dating, I told him that in my culture, family means everything. Family is your safe space, your strongest bond, your most loyal support system. I wanted that to be the foundation of our own family. He agreed, even said he was lucky to have found me because I showed him that family can be nurturing and loving. That made me hopeful. But from the very beginning of our marriage, another side of him began to show. He doesn't want to share me with anyone, not even my family. He would get annoyed if I called my mom, dad, or siblings. I began silencing my phone, ignoring calls, feeling this heavy pressure that if I answered, he'd be upset. Even if the calls came at times that weren't really inconvenient, he would act like they were. Eventually, I internalized this so much that I sometimes didn't pick up, even when I knew my mom just wanted to hear my voice. I can't describe how guilty that makes me now. 4 months ago, my mom died. It was the most traumatic loss of my life. She was my best friend, my safe space, my biggest supporter. I used to call her every single day without fail. Suddenly, the line went silent forever. No more morning, did you eat? No more late-night pep talks. Just silence. My youngest sister also emigrated here a little over a year ago. She's hardworking and brave, but adjusting has been rough. She doesn't have many friends, and after our mom died, her depression got worse. She tells me that sometimes I'm the only thing keeping her from completely falling apart. So I call her every day, even just for a few minutes. On weekends, I try to see her, usually only for an hour or two. Nothing excessive. Just enough to remind her she's not alone. Then recently, I found out I'm pregnant. After years of fertility struggles, I was ecstatic. We had tried since the beginning of our marriage, and for so long it felt impossible. Finally, it happened. For a few weeks, I felt like maybe all the pain we'd been through would be worth it. But then last night, everything shattered. My husband and I had a huge fight. He accused me of spending too much time with my sister. He said he wanted his life back from before she came here. I was stunned. I told him I understood that he wanted more time together, but I can't just abandon her, especially after my mom's death. I promised my mom I'd look after my siblings, and that's not something I take lightly. I reminded him that both of us work from home and spend nearly all of our time together already. My time with my sister is just a couple of hours on weekends. That's it. But he wasn't having it. He got angrier, accusing me of choosing my sister over him. I snapped and told him that his so-called old life only existed because my family was far away. He's pressured me for years to distance myself from them, to ignore calls, to shrink who I am. I told him flat out that he's been forcing me to become someone I don't want to be. He stormed off and slept on the couch. I lay in bed alone, replaying everything. The ignored calls from my mom, the unread messages, the times I silenced her just to avoid a fight. And now she's gone forever. I will never hear her voice again. And part of me feels like I wasted precious moments because of his insecurities. That realization cut me deeper than anything else. So now I'm thinking of divorce. It's not a decision I ever wanted to make, but I don't know if I can live like this anymore. We're fundamentally incompatible. And here's where it gets complicated. If we divorce, I don't want this baby. I know that sounds harsh, especially after all the years of wanting one. But if I'm no longer with him, I don't want to be tied to his family forever through this child. His family has been cruel, selfish, and racist toward me. They skipped our wedding to go on vacation. His brother made disgusting racist remarks about me. And countless other things I don't even want to detail. I've swallowed all of it for his sake, tried to be civil, but the truth is I hate them. I don't want to raise a child who will inevitably have to be connected to them. It breaks my heart to even admit this. I love my husband still, despite everything, and I wanted this child with him. But if the marriage falls apart, I don't want to raise his child alone while tethered to a family I despise. I don't want my future, or my child's future, shaped by those people. So, am I the whole for feeling like if this marriage ends, the pregnancy ends too?